Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to today's member showcase. Today I'm joined by Susan Perry from Cooper Accountancy Limited. Another tongue twister. You ladies never make my life easier. Susan supports individuals, micro businesses, and small business owners with their accountancy and tax. Don't stop watching the recording now. This is going to be
Yeah.
good. But what I love about her approach is it's grounded, practical, and very straight talking, which is really what people need when it comes to their finances. Her business journey was shaped during COVID when she made some bold decisions around how she works, embracing working from home and online meetings, which gives you more flexibility. We're going to be talking about some myths around tax. Again, don't stop the recording. We're going to talk about making tax digital and how to get clear, reliable information because there is a ton of noise out there. So, welcome, Susan. Welcome from your cabin. I
Thank
am
you.
in the she shed. It's nice to see you. We will dive straight in, and my screens are messing me about today. Let me just fix that. So let's start with a nice easy one.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about who you help and what you actually do on a day-to-day basis from the cabin.
Sometimes it's from other places. Um, we like to jazz it up a bit. So I do, like you said, I help individuals, micro and small businesses to get their accounts and taxes in order. I answer any questions that they have around tax. It's not the easiest thing to figure out. Even I struggle sometimes, but obviously I do it on a day-to-day basis, so I kind of know the quirks of HMRC. Um, so yeah, anyone that has a small business that wants to do things like know more about their business than just, oh, this is what's in the bank account, some smart ways to save tax that are actually doable for that particular business, because there's not always a one size fits all process. So yeah, that's what I do.
And I guess the rules change. Or it feels like the rules change every few months. When I see you at WiBN meetings, there's like new things that have come out, or new things that are being changed, or updates to this. It's your job, really, isn't it, to make sure you know what's going on, to then be able to help your clients navigate the changes that then seem to be coming all the time.
Yeah, it can be difficult to keep up with everything that changes, and I can appreciate small like business owners and individuals that procrastinate when something changes, because I do it myself. We've known about making tax digital for quite a number of years, and I'm only really just looking at it now. So it's just I don't need to know about it till April 26th, and that's sort of not the greatest
Yes,
approach to it, but there's so much else going on that it's just I worry about it when my clients need to worry about it. Not anyone,
yeah.
none of one's going to sit and go, I'll do it early. So yeah, so it's there is a lot of noise out there and there is a lot of changes, and it's just understanding those changes to be able to um repeat, like tell the clients what the problem, what
What's
they've
going
got to
on?
do
Yeah,
and things like
yeah.
that.
So just rewinding a little bit. You mentioned during COVID that you mentioned that during COVID, it shaped how you run your business.
Mm.
Was there different decisions you made during that time and how that now impacts how you work?
It's essentially being one of the professional industries. It was very much sort of you go to an office, meet your accountant at their office, and things like that. So during COVID, that shifted majorly. We didn't really work from home. We didn't really have flexible working or anything like that. It was you work 9 to 5 in an office. You was there unless you're having client meetings or going out to client visits. You don't generally, you're always in the office. So during COVID, that obviously changed it on its head of there was more virtual meetings, and people were working from home. So it's now somewhat acceptable for that to happen. So when I went solo in 2024, one of the conversations I had with my dad about it, and he was just like, "But you don't have an office." I said, "It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter if I'm in a cabin in the bottom of my garden. It doesn't matter if I'm working from home. It doesn't matter if I do a lot of meetings on Zoom or Teams or anything like that. people are used to it. It's not so foreign anymore. People still go on mute. You're on mute. We still have those
Yeah.
problems.
That I think that when going completely off topic for a minute, but when COVID is taught as history in school, there'll probably be a whole section on you're on mute. You're
Yeah.
still on mute. Your camera's not on. There'll be a whole section just
Yeah.
around us getting online, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it still happens now. I just come off
Yeah.
another call and yeah, someone was on mute. It's like you're on mute. Yeah,
We can never
we
work it
need to
out
have it
either. It's always a bonus
printed
when
on.
you come on. It's like, oh, it's working. Yay.
So going back to, we talked a little bit about making tax digital. So that is coming around soon. For anyone that doesn't know what it is, has never heard about what it is, some people call it MTD. They might have heard
Yeah.
that acronym before. What is it and what do they need to know? What's the most important things that they need to know right now? Because as you say, there's different changes happening every year. But for those people that want to know what's happening right now, and we're recording this in April 2026, just for the video, if anyone is watching this in 3 years' time and they go, but all that happened years
Too
ago.
late.
What's relevant for people right now?
Yeah. So at the moment, from the 1st of April or the 6th of April, it's become mandatory that any self-employed or landlord person has to report their income and expenses on a quarterly basis to HMRC via MTD or Making Tax Digital compatible software. There's no get around with that. It has to be done via software, which the software companies are rubbing their hands together. Um, and it's anyone with income over £50,000. So that's profit. No, it's not
Sales.
profit. That's income, not profit. Um, and you, if you've got both, so if you've got self-employment and rented income, they add together. So if you've got £30,000 of income in your self-employment and 25 in rental properties, you will have to report for Making Tax Digital from April 2026. Then going forwards to next year, that threshold goes down to £30,000 a year, and then it goes down the following April 28 to £20,000. So there's a handful of people that are falling into it now, but come next year and the year after, it's going to be a lot of sole traders and landlords are going to be falling into it. There's no way around it. There are some extenuating circumstances that mean you can be exempt from it, but being old, not wanting to do it is not going to be
It's
an
not an
excuse.
excuse.
And it's finding, and you can, I've been working with my clients saying there's three ways you can do it. You can do it on your own completely. I can help you. So you do the majority of the work, I review it and submit it to HMRC, or I can do everything for you. I think that gives the client base that I'm working with a bit more flexibility and a bit more options because, quite frankly, if you're a business that's only having £5,000 profit each year, you can't afford to spend £1,000 a year on an accountant to do the MTD reporting for you. You're going to want to do some of that yourself. And it also gives you that in on business information that you possibly don't already have at the moment. So yeah, it's a lot of changes going on. Many moons ago, it was pre me becoming an accountant, but I hear about it, is self-assessment wasn't a thing at one point. That came
Mm,
in. Everyone does it now. It's just one of
yeah.
those things, part and parcel of tax, our tax system, paying tax, etc., etc. So whilst it's a pain, it's going to be a pain in the ass. There's probably going to be portals crashing and all sorts.
Yeah,
Hopefully not.
that's all I see. I
Yeah.
just see the news headline, HMRC's website
Yeah.
crashing for
With
3 weeks on
government,
the trot.
yeah, government systems don't always work very well. Um, but
And we know people do things at the last minute. We
yeah.
know there are the majority of people are what we sometimes call deadline dancers. They'll
Hmm.
leave it until the absolute last minute, um, for whatever reason. So somebody that you make a really valid point actually. So you're doing to 50,000 plus in revenue, but as you say, your profit might be tiny. You've then
Yeah.
got these additional costs for software and potentially some kind of service that says, well, help me get started or
Mhm.
teach me how to use this software. It's a challenging time for businesses, isn't it? And once you get down to that, did you say it was going to go down to 20,000 eventually?
Yeah, in 2028 it goes down to
Yeah, it's
20,000.
are there any free software options out there that businesses
There
can
is.
use?
There
Oh,
is.
good.
So my as my in my business, I recommend three different softwares to clients. Zero, that's the top end, high market, QuickBooks, middle ground, and then there's free agent. So free agent you can pay for as well if that's it. They all work slightly differently, and it's say the clients. It comes down to what you're going to work with, and keep on top of your bookkeeping with that particular software. But with free agent, if you open up a NatWest or Metal business account, Metal Mettle, and I think RBS because it's all part of the same company, you get free agent for free at the moment.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
it's as simple, and that's a big plus as well, is that you've got your sole trader or landlord having a separate account for their expenses and income going in and out of. It's kept separate from their personal stuff, which just makes things a lot easier as an accountant, looking at their records, and also for HMRC looking at their records. But yeah, so you can get free agent for free if you have one of these bank accounts. Obviously, there could be bank charges involved and things like that. So it's looking at all the different options to see what suits you and your business, whether that's sole trader or landlord, the best. But it could well be that writing up in your little old red analysis book is how you do things and how you like to
Yeah.
do things and what makes sense to you as a person. Because ultimately, you don't want to rely on another person to tell you, well, you're making this much profit, you're doing this, you're doing that. Some people want to know what's going on in their business off their own back. So if you're going to keep on top of your bookkeeping by doing it once a month or once a week in your red analysis book, then carry on doing that and then find a bookkeeper or an accountant that can then put that information into software to submit it to HMRC. But if you're then told, no, actually, you need to do it on QuickBooks, for example, and you look at it every day and you're like, oh, no, I don't like that.
Yeah,
And
don't
you do
like,
it
yeah,
sometimes,
yeah.
you're going to end
Can't even
up
get
being
logged
that
in.
person. Yeah, you're going to be that person that's at the deadline going, oh my God, I've got to get this
Yeah.
done, and start panicking and
It's the
stressing. And that,
stress, the overwhelm, the
yeah,
anxiety it creates.
and that's when mistakes will happen as well.
Yeah.
So, but if you're doing it in a way that suits you, that you like to do it, I mean, no one likes doing it. But it's just working to your strengths. And if being on software is not working to your strengths, then don't do it. Likewise, if putting it into a book does not work to your strengths, don't do it that way. So I try to work with clients and to figure
Meet them where
out,
they're at.
yeah, work out what's best for them. That means they're doing it because ultimately, if they're wanting me to submit it's not a tax return, it's a quarterly update. They're wanting me to submit that for them. I can't be having 20 clients giving me their stuff on the 5th of the month, expecting me to
Yeah.
file it by the 7th. So whatever works for that client, people are very different, people work in different ways and thrive in different ways. Then that's my job to find out what suits them best.
Going to be right for them. Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's just so much, there's so many words, isn't there? There's so many different things that you have to think about, which is why I think having someone in your corner, like an accountant like yourself, just means that it's just one less thing for us businesses to take off our plate and
Mhm.
use somebody that is going to make sure it's all right for us while we just focus on the things that we're really good at.
Yeah.
So many small businesses, women I see in the Women in Business network, they're amazing at what they do, but what I don't think they always knew they were signing up for was all the other things that we had to do in the background,
Mhm.
which includes, your own admin, your own emptying your own bin, the own making of your own cup of tea, but also your own bookkeeping, your own social media. This
Yeah.
stuff just gets layered and layered and layered on and becomes really overwhelming, at which point sometimes I know I'll just be like, oh, I'll leave that till next week. And how
Yeah.
many times have things been left until next week? I want to change. I want to talk about Dave. You have got
My man.
a brilliant, um, I guess, marketing campaign running
Yeah.
on social media at the moment, which is all about your mate down the pub.
Yeah.
Because it's all about. Do you call him Dave?
He has
Or has he
various
not got a
different
name?
names.
I
I
call him
think we've had a
Dave. I don't know if you.
Darren, we've had a
I'll
Kevin,
call him
maybe.
Dave.
I don't know.
But it's all about that advice, isn't it? That
Yeah.
we hear, and I don't want to be sexist, so don't come at me in the comments on the sexism. But my mate Darren down the pub said, I don't need to do it like that. I need to, this is what I need to do. What are some of the biggest myths and misconceptions that you hear when it comes to tax from Darren
Mhm.
down the pub?
Um, I can put all my household bills through my accounts and get tax relief on it. I thought, not really.
Is that your favourite one?
Yeah, it's great. Or I can buy a car through the company and I have to get the tax back. It's like, yeah, can. But then there's a repercussion to it. And it's something that I've actively just sort of worked on this year, and it's been good fun doing it and sort of people's reactions to it. Because back in the day, we used to get like, my mate told me I could do X, Y, Z. It's like, yeah, it's brilliant. When did they
Is
go
he
to you? When
qualified?
did they? When did they get qualified? And then but you had those open conversations with your clients because they would come to you and have those ask the questions. And something that I've noticed over the last 6 months to a year is a lot of these things are coming up on social media,
Yeah,
and it's capturing. You've got social media, the beast of social media. You've got to capture people's attention within 1.7 seconds. There's
yeah.
some sort of statistic out
Ridiculous.
there.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they flick to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. So the first caption you see is to get your attention. And it's like, HMRC will pay for your holiday. HMRC will pay your kids' pocket money. HMRC will do, and it's just like, yeah, to an extent, but there's more to it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not as
Um,
simple as that. They're not just
yeah,
going to write you a check for your holiday, which
yeah.
I
And
hopefully people don't believe that. But
there will be people out there that will. And that's it, it frightens me, especially sort of if you're starting up recently or you just cannot see have the budget to be able to go to an accountant to do your tax return or to help you with your accounts. There should be an accountant out there that anyone can afford. But ultimately you're investing in your business by investing in an accountant. But some people can't do that. And when you're, especially when you're first starting up, it's easy to go, right, I'll make my own website, I'll do my own marketing, I'll do my own accounts, blah, 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 blah. So if you're just Googling or AIing, whichever AI platform you use, or going onto TikTok or Instagram to find this information, if you're only watching that first bit of the video, or then not going into it further of how does this work, show me the legislation, show me how this works in real time, show me what businesses this works for, you're going to run into a lot of people having investigations with HMRC going, well, social media told me I could,
yeah, yeah,
or
and that's not.
ChatGPT
Don't
told
think
me I
that's.
could.
I don't think that's going to be a good enough excuse, is it? It's
Yeah,
really hard because our attention span has radically reduced, and therefore, unless we are prepared to go and do a little bit more digging,
yeah,
which probably when it comes to our taxes most people aren't really interested. They're like,
yeah.
oh, it's tax. I don't want to know about it, or it's too difficult,
Mhm.
it's too complicated. Therefore, I will believe that little bit of
Yeah.
information that I can
Interpret-
glean.
yeah, it's interpretation as well, because it's like, oh, well, I can do that. And it's the same like when you're reading a contract. If you go into a courtroom, one judge can have one opinion and another judge can have another opinion. It comes down to interpretation. And essentially, some of the tax legislation is law, it's written in law language. So it comes down to interpretation. And one HMRC inspector may approve something, one may not. But it's the information that's out there is great if it's coming from an accountant, but sometimes I'm seeing it from a guy sitting in a van saying, "Oh, my accountant could have saved me hundreds of thousands of pounds in VAT, but they didn't tell me X, Y, Z." It's like, but you wouldn't have got it back if you don't pay it. Oh no, it was They didn't tell me I could put into a pension and get my tax back. So, but that's great on paper. That's great. I can tell everyone put £60,000 into a pension every year, and you get your corporation tax relief. However, if you need that £60,000 to live on,
Yeah,
they're
you
not
can't
going
put
to
it in your
tell you that.
pension. Yeah,
You can't put it in a pension. It does this there. You cannot touch that until you're 55 or 57, whatever it's going to be soon. So it for him, putting £60,000 works because he had the profit that
yeah,
disposable income to be able to do it. But for Joe Bloggs down the road that does a bit of plumbing here and there, that only has a £20,000 profit and needs that £20,000 to live on, it's not going to work. So it's the information out there is so broad that if you don't put it to your specific circumstances and get the specific tax information right, there's going to be a lot of problems. I mean, I like it, to be honest, I watched a reel the other day and I was like, oh, didn't know that. Happy days. Can do that. Looked it up on HMRC to see if it is true. So actually, fabulous. I can start applying that to my craft. So like you said, things are always changing all the time. And what I
all the
learned
time. Yeah,
20
yeah,
years
all the
ago
time.
has changed slightly 20 years on. And it's great to have it, but always clarify it.
Yeah, and I think that leads me nicely to almost like our wrap-up question, where people are perhaps feeling like they're getting misinformation or, want to come to you and say, I want to put £60,000 in my pension, or they're feeling overwhelmed or unsure or just what the hell do I do? What's the first thing you would say to somebody to do?
Take a step back. I mean, as a business owner, you're invested emotionally into your business. So sometimes you sort of take a step back, reach out to somebody. I will have conversations with people quite happily. I don't necessarily sit there and go, right, I'm going to charge you now for that. Because 9 times out of 10, if you give them a decent bit of advice, they're going to come on board as a client. So it's
Yeah,
always reach out to an accountant. Or if you don't want to do that and you want to use tools such as AI and things like that, is when you're researching something or looking into something, make sure you put in there your circumstances. Make sure you put in there, show me this, where this, or back this up with HMRC legislation. I mean, no one's then going to go on and read the legislation, but as long as it's coming up and you're able to see, right, okay, that particular bit of advice, I've read through the snapshot of it. Yes, it can happen, but it's always reach out to an accountant. So
yeah.
I will always have a conversation with people. And if it sounds too easy or too good to be true,
It
it
usually
probably
is.
is.
Yeah, well, there is that adage, is that the right word? That if it's a
Yeah,
bargain, it's not really a bargain.
yeah. If you're sitting
I
there
will
going,
include.
really? Is it that
I will.
easy?
I will include all of Susan's contact details in the description. So if you do want to reach out to her, whether that's through her website, her email, I will make sure they are in the show notes below, so you can grab that. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
It's always good fun to chat with a fellow cabin shed. Uh, and if you would like to meet Susan, you can always find her at WiBN Chelmsford and also WiBN Leon C. You are one
Yeah.
of my members that is in two groups. She also runs the Leon C group for me. She does a great job wrangling
I don't know if
wrangling
you
the
call it
members. They are
running.
they are a fun bunch. Every group is different. It's always the personalities in the room that make the groups.
Yeah,
But that,
definitely.
I don't know whether it's because it's by the seaside and the sea air gets them, but they often need wrangling into shape to get through the meeting, which you and Mel do a great job. But thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
me today, and
Thanks very
I
much.
will talk to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you soon.